Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about your breakthrough because your breakthrough is closer than you think. If this video has come across your feed, then it is a sign. You guys, I've had some major breakthroughs lately, and maybe it's just me, but I think it could be a collective thing because recently we just had Jupiter, which changes signs once a year, change from Gemini into Cancer. And Jupiter is a lot happier in the sign of Cancer. It has a lot more to do with your emotions, your relationships with other women, your relationship with the mother, your relationship with the earth, relaxation. Your finances could even grow during this time. Relationships could grow closer. Possibility of entering into a relationship or connecting with someone romantically or healing in romantic relationships as well. It's just better vibes overall, and I can feel it. I don't know about you guys, but I can feel this shift. And around this time, I've had so many manifestations come through, and it's just good vibes. For a lot of you guys right now, it's summer. Actually, where I'm at in the world, it's winter, but I do still feel these summer vibes. It's a time to relax, a time to organize, a time to plan. It might even be a good time to get something off the ground. So many possibilities, so many changes. The seasons are changing and transitioning, and I'm just excited to be looking into this spread here today with you guys. So as always, I encourage you to pull cards along with me. Remember to only trust yourself first and foremost when it comes to getting a tarot reading, especially a general reading online. Always allow your own intuition to be your guide. If something doesn't resonate, then just disregard it. But to get a more accurate reading, you can pull cards with me. And here is the spread we're going to be going over today. So first, we're going to look into where are you making quiet progress? What could also be unlocking some real momentum for you? And then the last part of the spread is what success is lining up for you. So when you're ready, just relax and take some deep breaths and simply choose a card or a crystal that you feel drawn to the most. And it's from left to right, number 1, number 2, or number 3. Once you have chosen, head down below to the comments or description where the timestamps are posted, and you can just click on your timestamp and instantly be fast forwarded to your part in the reading. And I will see you for your reading soon. For those of you guys who choose number 1, let's get into this spread. We've got the card that you chose here, and we're also going to freestyle pull some cards as well. So we're looking into where you're making quiet progress. Maybe nobody knows about this, or it's under the surface, or it's just happening behind the scenes, but where are you making progress? Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Where are you making quiet progress? Ooh, and we got the release card. Man, when I flipped this card over, I felt such a heavy energy. This card says, the end of a phase or a situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. So this is where you've made progress. You've gone through a long period of having to release. And oftentimes when we are releasing things or we're losing things, it can spark a bit of a grieving process because there's so much loss, that we have to process. And grief can be really difficult. We have to acknowledge and we have to make space for the things that are leaving our life. Even if it's for a good cause, even if we're really excited to kind of shed our old habits, our old routine, our old identity, or things we've outgrown to make space for exciting things in our life and manifestations, it can still be hard or kind of sad. So I do feel that heavy energy around you, but that there has been progress there. And this is interesting. It says you're being reunited now. What are you being reunited with? Ooh, reflect. That card just flew out. Frustration, worthwhile. Something has come back in your life. Something has returned. And part of me thinks that it could be a specific person, because when I thought about release, I was thinking about people that you were having to release from your life, or situations, or maybe like an old job, old coworkers, yeah, old habits, lifestyle, routines. But there could be something that's coming back in your life. Maybe it's like an old cycle that you were caught in. Maybe it was some money troubles. I'm seeing something about that. It could have even been an addiction cycle. It could have been um, like somebody that you tried to go no contact with or cut out of your life, but they've come back, like an old friend or like an ex. And I see you being frustrated because you're like, I thought that I had already gotten past this. It could even be like frustration with your job or being let go of your job or something like that. Because what I'm seeing is that something unexpected happened. Somebody returned into your life, or like a battle or a struggle that you had in your life continues to repeat, and you're just like, why am I back here now? Why does this keep happening? Or why does this person coming back? Or why do I keep struggling with this habit? Or it just feels like a karmic cycle that keeps repeating. And so, yeah, you're frustrated because this keeps coming back in your life, but I just see you cutting cords. I see you smashing it down. I see you saying, you know what, this time, this situation or this person is not going to get the best of me. The message that I'm getting is that if you are finding yourself in the same place that you were before, what is it that you need to do differently this time around to break the cycle? And I feel like that's why they're saying you've had progress. You're making quiet progress here because you're making different decisions. You're showing up differently. You're saying this cycle ends now, or I'm going to do that something different. Your guides are saying this is worthwhile, even though the situation has continued, even though this person has come back in your life, or even though you having the struggle with the job again, or the struggle with the money, or the habit, or the addiction, or like that thing you just can't get rid of. Like for some of you guys, I feel like it's just the daily struggle of being like, oh God, how am I going to afford these bills? And everything's so stressful and my health is flaring up, or like it's just exhaustion, fatigue. But you're just realizing choices that you made that worked really well for you in the past aren't working anymore. Maybe that career path you chose isn't right for you anymore. Maybe that job you were using to just make ends meet so that you could focus on your passions, maybe that's not serving you anymore. You need to go find something different. So big changes need to be made. Big questions are being asked right now. And you've had to release things one by one. You've had to say, this person isn't going to work in my life. This habit isn't going to work in my life. This type of lifestyle I'm having isn't going to help me get to my goals. So yeah, you've spent a lot of time reflecting. You've been on your own. You've been releasing, and you got reunited with some of these cycles you keep having, or people, or like maybe it's the you got rid of the narcissistic ex-boyfriend only to manifest like another one. So it's like you're realizing, okay, what do these people have in common? How am I showing up that's attracting this? How is like abuse is never your fault, but it's sometimes we realize, oh, I'm being codependent, or I don't know my value, or like I need to work on my worthiness, or I need to notice red flags, take things slower in relationships, or I need to focus more on my health. There's just different things coming up. I feel like you're learning, you know what you need to do, you know what you need to let go, you know what needs to be released. And it's been frustrating because it's like whack-a-mole. You work on your health and then something flares up on your relationship. You work on the relationship and then you got to work on the finances. You work on the finances and then it's like, oh, now you got to work on your business, or like there's whack-a-mole. Just it feels like you're cleaning house right now in your entire life. It feels like you're going through with just like this giant energetic Hoover vacuum and you're vacuuming everything out. You want to change, you want to clean things up. It's like you've had a light bulb moment and you've had to, like you got stuck in a funk for a while, maybe because of grief and things you had to let go. And now you're having to go through and just work in the details and release things from your life. But Spirit says, your angels, your guides, or the tarot, whatever, is saying that you're doing a good job with that. It's not easy to release, but you're making room, you're making space. So next, we're going to look into where in your life could you unlock some real momentum, okay? So what really wants to move forward in your life? Like where could you get things moving forward? Where could you unlock some momentum in your life? Oh, wow. So, two areas for you. First of all, in your love life, in relationships, it feels like this is what had you paralyzed for so long, was maybe being in a relationship that was destructive or karmic or wasn't going anywhere. It could have been just pursuing relationships that were only one-sided. It could be that you're just really trying to manifest a really good partnership, but there's almost this message to let go of that relationship, let go of that person, or let go of that need to feel like you're going to be complete only through a relationship. You know, I will say, oftentimes when you pray or you set an intention or you have like a wish, the universe can send the answer through a person or a group of people. It could be right now that you're just really longing for somebody to come in and help solve some problems for you, maybe make things more adventurous or playful in your life, or maybe help some financial burdens, or you're like, man, if I just had someone to share the rent with, it could be something like that. Or, there just seems to be a side of you that really is reaching out and wanting that connection. But it's this message like, you will have momentum there and you will have success, but first you need to focus on the plans, the goals, the dreams. Sometimes somebody's meant to be gifted to come onto your path and help you get moving towards your dreams. But sometimes we're being called to just get on that path ourselves. It's oftentimes through working with our passions and our dreams, doing things that we love, things we desire, putting our gifts and talents out in the world, that will connect us with a special person, significant other, good friendships, opportunities. So it's more likely for you that you're going to get on that path on your own, and this person will meet you in the middle. Or this could help heal a lot of the pain and strain in the relationship area of your life. So funny enough, relationships will move forward. This wants to gain momentum, but what needs to happen first is like an investment. There's a little bit of money that needs to be invested into your plans, your goals, your dreams. So to me, it feels like an investment of money and of course time. I just see you locking in. I've been getting a lot of messages that there are some people this summer, and of course this is a timeless reading, but at the time I'm doing this reading, it's summer. And I've been getting messages a lot in personal readings that this is the summer people are really supposed to lock in and use that high, exciting, vibrant energy of the summer, channel it into the goals, channel it into the dreams. You're going to be having fun. You're going to be going places. You're going to be meeting new people. You're going to be in nature more. You're going to have more time to relax, more time to be open to inspiration, getting downloads, getting ideas, and also getting that confidence and that courage to be like, you know what, I'm going to post that video, or I'm going to start that thing, or I'm going to take that class. So a big life-changing decision could be made soon. And what really wants to move forward with you is the career and the finances. They want to take off. And spirits keep saying justice. You're going to get what's yours. You didn't come here to be broke, struggle, survive. You're going to get what's yours, but you're going to have to invest a little bit. What you put out is what you get back. If you only put just like a tiny bit of effort into it, you might not get much back. So this is about being in a relationship with yourself, with your artwork, with your job, and healing that energy, and through that attracting love, or healing the love life. So that's exciting. It does seem like the finances want to take off. The career wants to take off. Investment wants to be made. So we're going to get more specific here and see what success is lining up for you. What is this breakthrough truly going to be? What success is lining up for you? Get clear message here. What success is lining up for you? I love that we're getting the blessing card here. And I also peeked and saw one of these cards, strategy. So this is just the beginning for you. And by the end of this summer, I'm getting, you're going to have like that clear vision of how you're going to move forward. And it's most likely going to be with your artwork, your business, your career, your finances. This could be about saving money to invest in something. It could be about paying down some debt. It could be, once again, about starting a business or getting the business off the ground. this is really what's lining up for you right now and being successful. And it's almost like the message is cut out all the distractions, cut out all the people that are distracting you. There are some people around you I sense that are helpful, that are inspiring, that want to be part of this process, but there's also a lot of time wasters and people who, want to vampire off your emotional energy. So there's this message to set boundaries, of course, but there's going to be, a spark, get the energy back. Sometimes you wonder, when am I going to get the time or the energy to actually work on this, to actually improve the financial situation, to actually improve the work, the business. And you're getting it this summer. And you're setting those boundaries, and you're going to know a lot more. I keep getting by the end of summer, August, September, you're going to have a clear vision of how you want to put your work or your art out into the world. Or you might have like the business name picked out, or just it's more solidified, it's more clear. You might be working in ChatGPT a lot. You might be making a business plan. You're getting organized. And so you need a strategy. You need to set yourself some time aside. And yes, this is just the beginning, so it's not like the success lining up for you was like tons of money or like all these followers or all this support or whatever, but it's something, and your guides are telling you to listen to your inner self. You've been restless because you need to take action. And there's this message that blessings are coming, that you're not going to be forgotten. You're not going to be neglected. If you plant a seed, you water it, you tend to that soil, you take care of it, it's going to grow into something. It's going to blossom. It's going to bloom somehow. It's like being open to how this transforms. You're just kind of aiming the bow and you're letting go to see if it's going to hit the mark. I love this success for you, honestly. I think the success is financial. I think the success is with the business. I think it's about receiving some admiration for what you're doing. It's letting yourself be seen. And I think another blessing too is boundaries. You're going to be so busy, honestly, that none of those time wasters are going to have, be able to even get to you. I hope that this message resonated with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out. All right, for those of you guys who choose number 2, let's get into this spread. And the first part of the spread is, where are you making quiet progress? So your breakthrough is coming because behind the scenes, you're making some quiet progress. Maybe nobody knows about this, or nobody sees this, or nobody knows the battles you've been fighting quietly behind the scenes, but this is why you're going to be getting your breakthrough. So let's look into it. Defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, choose your battles wisely. It's funny, I was just talking about battles. So this is where you're making progress behind the scenes. To me, it feels like there has been a lot of conflict around you because you really want to execute your free will, and you really want to live your life the way you want to live it. And you're very observant. I get this sense that you've been pulling back for a while and just kind of watching how other people have lived their lives, watching the choices and decisions around you that some people that you've grown up with have made, your family, friends, community, even like people online. There's so many options, possibilities for you. You're really talented, and I see that you've already had some success in your life, and that jobs and work and money has always just kind of naturally flown to you. I just feel like you're magnetic. Things are drawn to you. But I think because you have this magnetism, this shininess, you're a little bit different. You're a little... I want to say you're kind of weird or like a little strange, but that's your superpower, I don't know if you're on the spectrum like me, or maybe you're just really artistic, or you're kind of a rebel or something, but you want to do things different. You want to do it your own way, and you've worked hard, you've achieved some things, but I do feel like you're at a huge crossroads in your life. You're in a huge transition where you literally could rebrand yourself. You could move into a new career or a new industry. You could move somewhere new. Maybe you're single and you could end up in a new relationship. It just feels like you have a blank slate right now. It might have been a lot of chaos that led you to this blank slate. It could have been like through unfortunate circumstances, or just, yeah, it all happened so fast or something. But to me, it feels like you have this blank slate now, and it doesn't really matter how you got here. You're here now. But you have had to defend yourself. This is where you're making progress. Even though you've had a lot go down, you still know what you want. You still like want to fight for your future. You still want to create a life you want. You don't want to allow other people their hand in. You know, I'm surprised you're even listening to this reading right now, because it feels like you don't need anybody in your ear. You don't need other people's opinions. You need to do things on your own, you know? So that's it. It's honestly where you've been making progress. I'm going to do this my way. I'm going to do this on my own. I'm not going to let somebody tell me that I should just go do this, or I should just go all the way back and start at the beginning, or that I need to suffer or struggle in order to get there. For you, it's a fine line between being delusional and just living up in your head and just, you know, almost kind of egotistically thinking like, you know, you could do that or you could do it better. It's a fine line between that and then, you know, not actually doing anything. I think you see a lot of people out there who are having success with their gifts or their art or with something that just seems so little. But the difference between you and them is that they showed up. They were consistent. They stopped hiding. I've given this message to a few people recently. And I feel kind of hypocritical because I'm at a time in my life where I'm like resting more. I'm not showing up as hard as I used to, but you know, the point is I'm still showing up. You got to learn how to carve out a space for yourself in life and show up. So this could be about marketing yourself. It could be about like facing the truth that if you're weird and you're kind of artistic, a place for you need to carve out a space for yourself online. You need to allow people to see you. If you're never going to leave your room and like, you know, if you're not going to leave your house very much, it is what it is. You're going to have to let people find you. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to get more into this reading, but I get the sense that you are making progress. You know, it's quiet progress with just not letting anybody push you into being a smaller version of yourself. It's very abstract, but there's a lot of psychic attack going on around you. Like, I think people can tell you're in a transition. Everybody around you cares about you. Everybody wants to try to help push you somewhere and wants to see you be successful. And you're just in transition. You're going to get where you need to go, and you don't need to impress anybody. And I think that inside you've been hanging on to that part of yourself that's saying like you needed to rest, or you need your time, or you need to be smart about your next move and not just rush into something because people are saying you should, you know? So next, we're looking into what could unlock some real momentum for you. So your breakthrough's coming. What could help you move towards it, or what could unlock the momentum? Oh, this is the Tower. So they're saying, look, there's nothing you need to do to unlock momentum. The momentum has already been unlocked. You've been through a Tower moment. Your life fell apart. Crap hit the fan. You were exposed for some things. Like, it was humbling. And I'm getting the Three of Wands here, which is like the world is your oyster now, though, because you got to shed that old persona. You got to shed that old version of yourself, that old life you were living that just wasn't you anymore. And the universe has crazy ways of just snatching you out of places and putting you somewhere else and saying, look, focus on this now. You know, you've been brought here for a reason. And this card just kind of flipped out. It's the Queen of Cups. It is, once again, somebody who is an artist or a healer or an intuitive or just kind of a weirdo or a writer, or somebody who's supposed to be like the voice of their generation, or somebody who's supposed to be giving counseling, advice, mentoring, or working with the youth, a role model. Even I keep seeing somebody who's like sewing clothing or making like trinkets, or has like a booth at the market, or an artisan. So many possibilities here. A lot of people watching this reading, but I feel like the momentum is already been unlocked. It's just you coming out of hiding, being yourself. This is love reversed. Like a breakup, a relationship that was lost. I see the heartbreak too. Like you had to break up with that person, or you had to leave that relationship because they were blocking your fortune. And now that you're on the other side of that, you're getting the Empress card because you're like so fertile and creative and things are popping off for you and you're really excited and it's like you're young again. You could start over, you can do anything. So it's funny because this part of the reading, I don't know if it even really applies to you. I don't think you need to do anything to unlock momentum. It's been unlocked for you because you got like ricocheted into this new period of your life, maybe even into a new place. Maybe you had to move. So this is where we're going to get the tea, okay? What success is lining up for you? Overall, what success is lining up for you? How will you be successful? How is this breakthrough coming? It's like you came back to remember who you are, remember your past. You let go of a version of yourself, maybe the childhood version of yourself, the teenage version of yourself, the young adult version of yourself. All those people still live inside of you, and you had to grow up really fast and you were pushed into survival and like all this stuff. And it's like you never had that you didn't really have the opportunity to explore some things. So it's like you're going backwards, like spirit's putting you back when you were like 19, 20, 21 or something. You're getting like, you're uncovering some truths. You're going back to like an original version of yourself. You're rediscovering parts of yourself. And this is about being unapologetic. It might feel kind of silly being in your late 20s, early 30s, 40s, whatever, and trying to start a music career. It might feel silly picking up your pen and starting to sketch again. It might feel silly, getting back in the gym and trying to build a strong body because you want to work with the body and help people personal train. Like, I just keep feeling like a big career shift, a shift to be more yourself than you've ever been before. I keep seeing something too about teaching, somebody like teaching art. Gosh, there's just so many possibilities. I'm reading for a lot of people here right now. But the point is that there is success lining up for you. You have to go back to this younger version of yourself energetically in a way and remember what your whole being was screaming to you back then about what you wanted to do. There are things, there are gifts, there are desires we have that are like beat out of us. I remember like, gosh, when I was younger, I've always had so many dreams, and I remember just like all the elders in my life, all the teachers, friends, everybody constantly just trying to discourage me from my dreams. I know my dreams were crazy. But guess what? I've accomplished a lot of them. I had a dream about going to LA and being a fashion stylist and being published. And guess what? I did that. I was even featured in Vogue. I had a dream about traveling the world. I did that. Somehow, some way, I'm always going to make it happen. And I know you will too. When you're different, you're weird, you're strange, you have a different path than other people, everyone's gonna not understand. People are going to say stuff to you. If they even get an inkling that you have a different idea, you wanna go on a different path, you wanna take a risk, everyone's gonna try to convince you how it's a bad idea. But as long as you move forward with purpose, you're gonna show them in the end, I feel like there's a part of you that's ready to receive love, because I just pulled that. Receive love. For you, you keep looking to relationships to bring you that sense of fulfillment, to bring you that sense of excitement, to make you feel like your life has changed, to feel like you're settled, taken care of. When the relationship's taken out of your life, you realize, oh my God, I haven't really like made any choices or decided what I want to be in this life or like done anything. Like, you feel naked when you're not in this relationship because you've tied up so much of your identity in this other person or just being in the relationship. I feel like you're a good person in a relationship. Like, you're a good girlfriend, or you're a good boyfriend, or you're a good wife, or you're a good husband, or you're a good partner. But you've got to find your identity outside of that. I feel like the success that's going to happen for you is going to be independent. It's going to be you on your own, thriving, doing what you love, and love will find you on the other side of that. Like, this chapter in your life is meant to be independent. And if you're in a relationship and you don't resonate with that and you're freaking out and you're like, does this mean I'm going to get a breakup? Don't worry. This is a general reading. It might just be that you're decentering your partner from your life a little bit, in the sense where you're like really working on your personal fulfillment. And it will also, this could also be about receiving love and admiration from other people. People being like, oh my God, I love your artwork. Oh my God, I love like that thing you just posted. Oh my gosh, I love that workshop that you created. I love, I love your work. It's such a nice thing when people say that to you, honestly. It's a great thing. Everyone should experience that. Having someone tell you, I really love your work, your artwork, your gifts you're putting out there. So the success for you, it's that love. It might be relationship, people loving your work, but it's also reconnecting with like this earlier version of yourself and starting to feel more kind of in alignment with that, rediscovering some past gifts of yours, bringing them back out into the light. So I hope that this reading resonated with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 3, let's get into this spread. And I'm actually really excited because I already peeked at this card, like it flipped out when I pulled it, so I already know what it says. But the question was, where are you making quiet progress? What's happening for you behind the scenes that maybe other people don't know about? What's going to lead to your breakthrough? And this card says, your wish comes true, concerns fade away, a love of life. So maybe you're excited and you're smiling and you're all giddy when you see this card because it's already happened. Maybe it was like what just happened with me, where I had some manifestations come through. I had a big breakthrough and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. If that hasn't happened for you yet, then this is just a big, big sign. Like that big thing that you want to come through it's happening. You're going to get that answer. You're going to get the approval. You're going to, hear back a yes from that person. Good news coming in. Your wish comes true. You might get approved. I keep getting like a contract being signed. I'm really seeing something about hearing back that you got the job that you interviewed for, stuff like that. It's just really beautiful energy. Finding out that you're pregnant, getting engaged. Yeah, concerns fading away, a love of life. I think it's different for each person here, but this is a message that, your breakthrough really, really is here. Breathe. Yeah, your guides are like, it's going to be so exciting. It's like that feeling of like you just won the lottery or something. It's something really big. And your guides are saying like, just when it comes, you just need to breathe, ground yourself, and you need to be ready to go. You need to be ready to make decisions. It might be like allocating money or allocating funds somewhere, or it might be like, oh gosh, I have to get everything all lined up so I can move here, so I could start the job. Or maybe it's, setting boundaries because you just started a relationship with someone. It's like, okay, breathe. Like maybe you want to set some boundaries, or you want to talk more about like, what does this mean? Or, get clarification on things. It just seems like when you manifest something it can be so exciting in the beginning, but there's a lot of aftercare that comes with it. Now you have to manage these resources. Now you have to make decisions. Now you have to move somewhere where there's like just a lot of things going on. Like chaos, but it's like a good kind of chaos. So the question was, where are you making quiet progress? And I don't know if this really relates to that question necessarily. It's almost saying the progress for you isn't quiet. Soon everybody's going to be seeing it. Everyone's going to be knowing you had this big opportunity come through, or you've had this big glow up or this big breakthrough, and it's here or it's right around the corner, weeks away, this summer. Yeah, this question's like, it's not even quiet progress. People can see maybe physically that you've had some changes, that what's going on the inside is truly reflecting on the outside for you. So next we're looking into what could unlock real momentum. Maybe the momentum's already been unlocked for you. It seems like it, but what could help you unlock things and move forward even faster? Oh, they're saying the Magician. You took, or you will soon be, taking all of those tired, exhausted, tearful nights where you're stressing and you're just crying and you're just like asking, the moon, God, the universe, your angels, guides, how can I get through this? Is this ever going to end? all of that is being turned around, because there comes a point where you're down and you're grieving and you're panicking and you're in so much anxiety. There does come a point where we just get pissed off. We get angry. We get frustrated. We say, no more. I'm going to get my ass up and I'm going to do something about this. I'm ready for that change. And that's what the magician is. Through your sorrows, through your grief, through your trials, you do gain discernment. You cut things out. You cut people out. You realize when you're down here, what's not working for you anymore. Like, you know what? I can't keep living this type of lifestyle, or I can't keep neglecting my health, or I can't keep hanging around these people, or whatever it is. That's the sword. Through this time of sorrow, trial, grief, sometimes you realize, okay, I've been a bad steward with my money. I need to get my money up. I need to save. Or maybe it's like I need to pay down this debt, or I need to get a higher paying job, or I need to build my skills so that I can, attract better quality work. Sometimes it's not until you hit all this pain and suffering and trial and exhaustion that you realize you're the one who has the power, the wand. You're the one who has the power to do something about it, to direct your energy, your force, your will to create something in this life. Sometimes it's not till you've got all this sorrow and pain and loss, grieving process, that you realize that you can't pour from an empty cup. You've got to fill your own cup so you can fill others. So you definitely went through it. What's unlocking momentum is realizing that this is useful. This is part of life. Even the trees lie dormant for a season, shed all their leaves, get all spindly and kind of ugly looking, and just they're lying dormant. They're getting ready for the spring. So that's kind of what you were doing. You were getting ready for where you're at right now. The last 18 months, I'm getting a bit of a timeline here. You are unlocking momentum through realizing that the only thing that's going to unlock momentum is allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to purge, allowing yourself to grieve, honoring the natural cycles and seasons of your life. Then when you're ready, when you've truly had enough, we're ready to stop feeling sorry for ourselves, and we're ready to get up, and we're ready to, move forward. And by then, we've got the energy back. We've got our head back on straight. We know what we want. Sometimes we don't know what we want until we experience what we really don't want. We're like, okay, I really don't want this anymore, so at least there's that. I'm going to go create anything but this. Yeah. So they're saying, what could unlock real momentum? Basically, allowing yourself to grieve would be the answer to this question. Allowing your grieving. Allowing yourself to grieve. It's a huge message I tell on this channel all the time. It's one of the biggest messages. I'm telling people, you're allowed to grieve. Allow yourself to grieve, at least to the rewards. Don't get stuck there. Grief is a tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a cave. You're not going to be trapped there forever. So what success is lining up for you specifically? We'll do these cards. What success is lining up for you on the other side of this breakthrough? I feel like there's this message I got when I saw this card where you're like, I just want to live a simple life. You're like, I don't want a lot. I just want like a little cabin with my dog, and I want to be able to like drink my coffee and write, or like you just have this really sweet view of what life is. You want it to be so simple. You don't want it to be so complicated. And your guides are telling you to be patient. You're frustrated because you know it's going to take a long time to build that. And, what you really want is peace. So there is this message, as annoying as it is, that you've got to find a way to create that peace right now. I'm getting a message that maybe like you're living in the city or somewhere a little bit too urban. And yes, there's opportunities there that you need to take advantage of, but you do need to start getting serious about getting more nature, or getting like moving outside the city, or getting, like a little healing sanctuary, healing space for yourself. This could even just be moving more plants inside the home, tripping out your balcony or something. I feel like it will be not like a super long journey, but it's going to be a bit of a journey, which is why you've procrastinated, and it's just easier to talk, crap on the government or the system, blame the whole world in the way that it is everyone else, things that you went through for why you can't have that lifestyle. It's harder for some people, I'm not going to lie, but don't be bitter at the people it came easily to. Don't be bitter at the trust fund kids or whatever. Don't you want to give your kid a trust fund? Don't you want your child to have an easier life than you did? Some people's parents hooked it up. Some people, created that. It does seem to come easier for some people, but everybody's got their trials and tribulations. You don't want to swap places. You know your own trauma best. There's this message, you need to start getting excited about life again, and remember that you have magic. You can start creating your way towards these dreams. And there's been a lot of messages about this lately, but this is about maybe creating a personal brand for yourself. It's not the answer for everyone, but I do think people are going to look at you and be like, that's the girl who does that thing, or that's the guy who does that. And people will know you and they will come to you. There'll be money, there'll be support. You're going to have to really rely on a network. You want that peaceful life, you're going to have community support you, either in life community or online community. It's a process, So for you, it feels like you're going to have that success. You're going to have that peaceful life. You're going to be out maybe a little bit more in nature. You're going to be able to work from home or more in your community. You will have a network of people who support you. You're going to be able to let your freak flag fly a little bit. And your guides are just saying you're going to have to allow this. Stop putting up blocks to it. The purification you went through was a lot of the fears being purged, a lot of things that have been holding you back from moving forward in this direction. And now there's a space for inspiration to come through. So your guides are saying, be open to the flow. Things want to move you forward. Changes want to happen. I think the success lining up for you is more about like a lifestyle success, more peace in your life, less stress, your lifestyle getting better. I had a client who, hi, if you're watching this, they have this incredible dog that's just so sweet, but is a rescue and needs to be around someone a lot. And the job that they were working was having them basically leave their dog at home all the time. And my client was just trying to manifest so hard this opportunity where she could be with her dog more. And long story short, she went on this trip with her friend, and she ended up going into a cafe and striking up a conversation with the owner. And it turns out the owner had a connection for her to be able to work at this like campsite place and take her dog with her to work. It was just so crazy how it all worked out. You can get what you want. You can manifest it. The peace that you want, the more relaxation that you want, the work-life balance, it can happen. You can just keep going until you create it, It becomes a spiritual journey eventually. Manifestation, it's a spiritual journey. But yeah, your guides are saying that opportunities are coming, that everything is flowing for you at this point. You're more open than you've ever been. And it looks exciting. I hope that this message resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out.